Before the film, I wasn't sure how this would all turn out, but getting ready for the 25th year anniversary release has been an incredible trip, like a mind-blowing trip for me down memory lane. Believe it or not, I've collected some amazing things from fans over the years. Now, I'd like to tell you about my new project. Over the years, it's been a quarter of a century. What do you think the biggest question fans have had for me? What else do you got? What is it that's not Boondocks Saints that's coming at us? You had to have written other things. You did this incredibly successful thing. You've done 2 movies, now a third's coming. You wrote them all. You directed the first 2. What's your new thing, Duffy? What are you doing? Well, I did about 2.5 years worth of research into serial killers. It's a niche market, right? But when there's a serial killer movie that kills, everybody goes to see it. Look at Silence of the Lambs. It's 7. There are very few that make it in that little genre. But I did all this research before I put pen to paper on the Blood Spoon Council. That's coming at you. I've already made the deal. Producers are in, financing's in. We've chosen a director. I'm the producer, writer. Hopefully we'll be shooting it in New Orleans. If I do, we are going to be at the Boondocks Saint Bar in the French Quarter. That's going to be our HQ, so get ready for us, guys. See, the theme is the same. Boondock Saints and the Blood Spoon Council have the same theme, vigilantism. What the council is a group of vigilantes who somehow identify, seek out, snatch, and assassinate serial killers and then deliver them to the doorstep of the FBI, who now makes the Blood Spoon Council public enemy number 1. So what they do is they bring in a young professor in his 30s who's written 2 of the best books on profiling. They tried to hire him a bunch of times, Frank Quinn, but he will never work for them. He doesn't like them until they bring him in and they show him what they've been keeping from the public. Over the last 5 years, has brought in 7 serial killers, dumped them at their doorstep. And once Frank sees that, he's like, you guys want to catch these guys to figure out how they're doing it. It's like, what do you get? 1 every fucking 10 years, and they basically have to walk themselves through the front door of the FBI to get caught? So it becomes a cat and mouse game between Frank Quinn, who is working for the FBI and not liking it, and the mastermind of the council, John Declan. And he is one hell of a man. I have written a book. It describes the origins of Boondock lore, but what it does is it contemplates Connor and Murphy coming to America now, in this day and age. They're walking by what we all walk by every day. They're seeing it. Are we accepting this as a new part of life in America? I imagine 2 brothers who grew up in Ireland, the rosy perception of life in America, the land of milk and honey, only to get here and discover what we all see today. Unfairness, injustice at a level that we have not seen in America. Their own moral code sets them against this. This is how they get lured into the shadowy world of vigilantism, because let's be honest, they're illegal immigrants. They have to stay off the radar, quiet as church mice. And that's what the book is about. A sort of re-engineering, a re-explaining of Boondock set in present day. I love the idea that the brothers are boots on the ground in America, in the here and now. There's so much more involved in it. All those questions you have over 25 years, they're all going to be answered and new ones will come up. How did they not know their father got in a gunfight with them? How'd they follow in the bloody footsteps of their dad? How'd they meet Rocco? Weird questions like that you guys have always been interested in. All will be answered and more will come. Mike Simpson was the VP of William Morris when I first became a client there. So I had to, of course, go meet the Kingmaker. So I'm sitting in his kind of ante room looking at his assistant behind this big desk, and he's got one of the first things, like, the earmuffs and the thing. And he's like, yeah, well, we'll check Mike's availability. He's not available. I'll get back to you. Okay, man. He's like doing, and his little stupid nameplates, there's a Sean Reddick. After a while, I'm like, you're not fucking talking to anybody. And he's like, fuck you, Duffy. What do you know? You're just like the new taste of the month or whatever. So we get a little bit of a back and forth, but I liked him right away. We went out drinking, like within a couple of days. Reddick became a pal. Guess who he is now? One of the biggest producers in Hollywood. He's got 2 Oscars. He did Black Klansman and Get Out. And guess what else he's doing? Boondock fucking 3. I called him up. When I started going on that venture, he brought in the financing. He brought in all the, it's crazy. We've been friends for a long time. You see, when I first started out, Miramax and New Line Cinema, basically Harvey Weinstein and Mike DeLuca, were in a bidding war over this. So I went with Miramax, and me and Harvey came to blows very quickly. He put us in what's called turnaround. Now that means whatever he spent on this project up to then, after getting my rights and making me sign, I signed willingly all the paperwork. He paid me for the script. He paid all my producers. There was 5 of them at the time. He paid for, I think, a initial location scout. He was in about $1 million. But then he decides, he and I don't agree on casting, so he decides he's going to put it in turnaround. All right, big upset in my world. I'm the black sheep of Miramax, so who the hell else is going to buy this goddamn thing? Being put in turnaround by Miramax at the time was virtually a death sentence. Turnaround is you're yard sailing this film. I'm hoping that anybody else wants to get it, buy it. It's still hot, right? All these actors want to do it. I was turning down movie stars. But most of the time, when a company puts you in turnaround, it's over. The most they've ever charged is 50%, but most settle for recouping 20 to 25% of their money. But Harvey, in this situation, was charging 100% in a turnaround. And I met Arnold Rifkin at this time, a name that is very rarely brought up in Boondock lore, but is the reason this movie ever got made. Arnold was the president of William Morris at the time. We liked each other a whole lot, man. I remember going up to his house. He had these Rottweilers that responded to German commands in the Pacific Palisades, and they went all around doing the perimeter and stuff. It was insane. I had to introduce myself to the dogs. He had this whole kind of gatehouse, or almost a stable, that was converted into like a movie. He had a projectionist up there, all the seating, big screen. So I get there, the dogs, Arnold, who I had already met, by the way, at William Morris. He had this corner office. You want to be involved with powerful people when you first get in the business. As a first-time director, who the fuck's gonna trust me, right? Harvey was one of those, at the beginning anyway. Arnold, though, was a much more powerful human being to me, much more of a help. Like I said, we only got Boondock made because of him. So I go up to the house, we're becoming fast friends, but he screens in his screening gatehouse on film. So the first thing I ever directed, which was a music video. His kids had already seen it, they were already fans. His little daughters, it was crazy. So that whole night just went awesome. But what I didn't know, when Miramax wipes their ass with you, no other company is gonna come out of the woodwork. You're now done. You're the black sheep of Hollywood. Nice job. Go home, live in your mom's basement. So Arnold, unbeknownst to me until the day after it happened, takes my 2 agents in. Jim Crabb, who was the only Irish agent in Hollywood. He was the head of independent film at William Morris, along with this guy Cassian Elwes, who is another honorable mention. Cassian, if you're watching, God, I love you. And my right-hand guy, Ramses Itzhak, he was in his 20s like me, new young upstart agent at William Morris. What happens is, Arnold goes into the staff meeting. Just picture a 100-foot long conference table with all of his agents. He's got my guys and Simpson and Cassian. And he goes, Harvey Weinstein doesn't do this to our clients. this movie gets made, Boondock Saints gets made, or you're all fucking fired. And they all went out and found the company that paid 100% in a turnaround situation, which had never happened in the business up to that point. Arnold Rifkin put all his guys on red alert and said, this doesn't happen with our fucking clients. That's a big part of the reason that all you 40, 50 million fans around the world even got this movie, because one man stood up for me. And his VP's assistant is the guy that's producing 3. One of my favorite myths about Boondock is that I would write the script on napkins outside of Sloan's bar while bouncing. That's essentially true, but I used a notebook, then I had a rented computer. I'd go home and transfer everything I wrote on that, and eventually got the script in format because I borrowed a script from a friend to see what the format was. But the real story about napkins is even crazier. My deal after Miramax put us in turnaround was done on napkins. Remember, Arnold said, go find a company that'll pay 100% in a turnaround back to Harvey and take this away, because Harvey didn't want that movie being made. That would have embarrassed him at the time. That's why he charged 100%, so that I would never be able to get the film made, right? And the napkins are right here. These were made into a gift by the company that did pay 100% in a turnaround situation to Harvey, so that we could all get Boondock Saints, made by Ely Samaha of Phoenician Films, later franchise, later 17 other names. They were a small film company that made Boondock, and they were making so many films at the time that one of the other reasons you guys got Boondock Saints was because they didn't know and they didn't care. He had 10 other movies going at the same time, same budget level and less, 3 to like 10 million. I was right in the middle at about 6. They never showed up on set. They actually, almost by default or mistake or having too much going on, they let this new young filmmaker with his new young cast, with a couple of stars like Billy and Willem, make his movie their movie for real. One time they called up and they were like, he's shooting too much slow motion, because all the dailies went to him. And I just basically went in with my editor, Bill Durandi, and I said, let's just edit this scene together so they know what I'm doing. We did. We sent it to them and they're like, all right, no notes. So this movie got done for a couple of different reasons by a couple of different sort of brave people. Right? Arnold Rifkin, Mike Simpson, Ely Samaha, a couple others, they actually let a first-time guy go do his thing. And the only reason I did it that way was because I didn't know you couldn't. Almost everything we shot on that set, everybody around me was going, you can't do that. I did. And Sean and Norm were so new and young, we didn't know we couldn't do that shit either. We did it anyway, and you've got your motherfucking cult classic.